Hello, beautifuls, and welcome to The Gifted Table. I am your excited and delighted host, Dr. Melanie Harris. Thank you for pulling up your seat here today. And today we will be discussing exercising your leadership, part 2. Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining me here at The Gifted Table. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and always leave comments for me. I always love to read your comments because it helps me grow as a leader. And we're talking about exercising our leadership, just continuing in that conversation that we had last week. And last week we discussed warming up your workspace, stretching your mindset, and strengthening your core. Today, we're going to continue with 3 more tips that I really hope will help motivate you as a leader. Because guess what, ladies? We need it. We need support. So as we continue in that vein, today I want to talk to you about the first tip is how to press through the weight. If you have ever lifted weights, went to a trainer, I don't lift weights, I pretend I do, or even have done physical therapy where you have to really press either through your legs or pressing up with your arms, you do know that oftentimes they'll tell you about muscle memory. So that's what I'm hoping this will do, is the more we exercise, the better we will build our muscle memory. So when we're pressing through things, ladies, as leaders, think about those situations where there's just a lot of weight that you're pushing through. Well, how do you do that as a leader and still maintain your team and still maintain your integrity? Some things that you can do when pressing through, very simple. How about remember how resilient you are, right? When you have to press those weighted things away, remember not to do it by yourself. Bring in your team. Bring in people who will help lift that weight. Motivate your team, right? You have to motivate your team and then also motivate yourself. Remember that pressing through means, yes, you might struggle, you might feel a little weak, but the more you do it, the more you'll know how to do it better the next time. It becomes repetitive. Not that I'm saying I want anyone to keep going through struggles, but if you know you have to have a courageous conversation, if you know that perhaps your supervisor is coming at you with some challenges or maybe some negativity, or maybe there's some colleague conflict, or you're having conflict amongst your staff or your employees, the way you resolve those things, the way you press through will help you to be more prepared the next time. Coaching people up, coaching people through the situation. That's how we press through. And remember that all of those skills that were taught to you as a leader, or even that your mentor shared with you, use them. Use them. You have to set standards, set a precedent, set goals, even when it's dealing with, for instance, evaluations or new changes happening at your organization. So press through. Our next tip deals with crunching it. You know, you got to do those crunches, those sit-ups. And it's like you using all of your core again, your ab. Yeah. That's that center. Center yourself when you find yourself crunching through something that's just been thrown at you and now you have a deadline. Well, what are some ways that you can motivate yourself and your team as a leader when you're crunching through? First, be positive. Have a positive disposition. Look for what's going to happen at the end. Plant that date and backwards map that thing so that it's not all over the place. Be as structured as you can and appreciate your team and be very intentional about the incentives that you may give to them. If you know you're crunching through something, have an incentive. Hey, you know what? If we get this done within the next 2 weeks, then XYZ I'm going to do for our team. Give them an incentive to help motivate them. Show appreciation to your team. But while you're doing that, look for red flags. What are some things that's popping up? What's the energy? Are people not following through? Are you not being accountable to your team? Are you not having some type of progress monitoring that's showing what it is? Do you hear people talking about the task, the organization, or whatever it is that you have to do? Catch those red flags, identify those red flags, deal with those red flags immediately, and then keep it going. But you have to be prepared to have not only yourself, but your team on a set track to crunch through something that's been given to you last minute. It's due within the next week, or you have a presentation to do. Involve your team. Don't do it on your own. Our final tip, once we've pressed through, we've crunched through to exercise our leadership, cool down. Just take that breath and cool down. But more importantly, as a leader, cool down with your team. What is your reflection process? Have some type of reflection process in place where you can look back at the task and see what went well. What do you wonder? What could we do better next time? And what are some things that we can possibly present that wasn't even on the radar? So reflect on it. Have that space with your team where it's just being open, where people can take risk and share openly, where their conversation and what they're sharing will be respected. So have that cool down moment. Make it intentional and see what will come out of that process. That's all part of exercising your leadership. I hope these tips were helpful for you. These are things that I deal with and things that I also try to incorporate as well. But if you have some tips, put them in the comments. I would love to hear more, because guess what? You're helping me build as a leader and as a coach as well. So what are some things that have worked well for you that are some tips for exercising your leadership? Don't forget, again, subscribe to The Gifted Table, subscribe to this channel, share this with others, encourage other women leaders to participate, and even those leaders who are men who can use this information and share it with others. We want to hear from you too. We're going to have another episode of The Leading Man coming soon. So until next time, everyone, remember, stay grounded, innovative, fierce, transparent, every day. In other words, stay gifted, and I'll see you next time.